Most people think attraction begins with the face. It does not. It begins in the mind, in the nervous system, in the way you carry silence when nobody is clapping for you. You can look amazing and still feel empty. You can dress well and still walk into a room with the energy of someone asking to be chosen. People notice that. They may not say it, but they feel it. They feel when your smile is hiding fear. They feel when your confidence depends on attention. They feel when your peace is only a costume you wear in public. Real presence is different. It does not beg. It does not chase. It does not shake every time life touches it. The most magnetic person in the room is rarely the loudest, not the richest, not even the most beautiful. It is the one who looks calm in a world built to disturb them. Stay with me, because this changes everything. If your energy is weak, your looks cannot save you. If your mind is noisy, your charm will not last. If your emotions control your actions, people will sense the instability before you finish one sentence. But when your mind becomes steady, when your habits become clean, when your presence stops asking for approval, something powerful happens. You stop trying to be attractive and you start becoming unforgettable. In this script, you will learn 7 deep habits that make a person mentally strong, emotionally controlled, and naturally magnetic. And if you really practice them, your whole energy will change. Some people will admire it, some will respect it, some will feel uncomfortable because they can no longer pull you around. Good, that means the change is real. Before asking how to become attractive, ask something harder. Why is your presence so easy to ignore? That question hurts, but it opens the right door. The truth is not that most people are unattractive because of their face. They become unattractive because their energy leaks. Their emotions spill everywhere. Their words are too cheap. Their attention is scattered. Their discipline disappears the moment comfort appears. You can buy better clothes, fix your body, improve your style, wear perfect shoes, smell expensive, and still walk into a room with the silent posture of someone asking, "Do I matter now?" And everybody feels that pressure. Neediness has a sound. Insecurity has a shape. Weakness has a rhythm. It lives in the eyes that keep searching the room. It lives in the voice that explains too much. It lives in the hands that never settle. It lives in the smile that asks for approval before it offers warmth. But a truly strong person feels different. They are not trying to force attention. They are not performing. They are not trying to win the room in the first 10 seconds. They simply enter with self-command. They carry the quiet weight of someone who has faced storms without becoming bitter. And that is rare. Rare things pull attention without asking for it. Listen carefully. Attraction is not mainly about being seen. It is about being solid. It is about becoming difficult to shake, difficult to bait, difficult to control. That kind of power cannot be faked for long. It has to be built, slowly, privately, repeatedly. And once it is built, people sense it before they understand it. The first shift is simple, but most people fail it every day. Stop reacting so fast. Somebody texts you late, you react. Somebody leaves you on red, you react. Somebody gives you a strange look, you react. Somebody praises you and suddenly your mood rises. Somebody criticizes you and suddenly your whole day drops. Look at what that means. Your inner world is being touched by every passing hand. No wonder you feel tired. No wonder your mind feels crowded. A strong person creates space between what happens and how they respond. That small pause is where freedom lives. In that pause, you can ask, is this true? Is this useful? Is this worth my peace? Without that pause, you become a puppet with nice clothes. With that pause, you become someone who belongs to themselves. When a weak mind hears an insult, it rushes to prove, defend, explain, attack, fix the image, save the ego. But the trained mind watches first. It does not become every opinion thrown at it. It notices the emotion rising. It breathes. It lets the heat pass through without letting the heat drive. That is not passivity. That is mastery. Anybody can look calm when life is easy, but can you stay steady when you are misunderstood? Can you remain composed when your pride is burning? Can you keep your dignity when speaking would only make you smaller? That is where real attraction begins. People trust calm power. They feel safe around a person who is not exploding every time life rubs against them. And remember this line because it matters. Every instant reaction teaches the world that your buttons are easy to press. Every deliberate pause reminds your mind that your peace is not public property. The next shift is painful because it asks you to stop doing what the ego loves. Stop explaining your value to people who are committed to not seeing it. So many people lose their dignity right here. They send long messages. They repeat their intentions. They try harder and harder to be understood by people who profit from misunderstanding them. They keep saying, "No, let me explain." They keep offering clarity to people who never wanted truth in the first place. Listen closely. When you keep arguing for your worth in front of someone who has already decided to reduce you, you are not increasing your value. You are making yourself cheap. Real value does not chase belief. A diamond does not panic because one person calls it glass. The sky does not shrink because a blind eye cannot see its color. You need to know when words become waste. Strong people speak with clarity, then they stop. They do not keep bleeding energy into a conversation that only exists to drain them. They understand a hard truth. Some people do not want peace. They want access to your reaction. Some people do not want honesty. They want control. Some people do not want to understand you. They want to keep you busy, proving yourself, so you stay too tired to rise. This is why boundaries matter. Boundaries are not anger. They are not revenge. They are clean decisions. They are doors with locks. The right people enter with respect. The wrong people remain outside with their opinions. And once you stop begging everyone to hold the correct version of your story, your energy changes. Your eyes grow calmer. Your speech becomes lighter. Your movements slow down. Your presence becomes expensive. Lived value is always louder than spoken value. Never forget that. There is also another side to this. Not explaining yourself does not mean becoming cold or dishonest. It means knowing where truth is useful and where truth is only being thrown into a fire. Speak when silence would damage something real. Speak when responsibility requires it. Speak when your values are on the line. But do not confuse endless self-defense with integrity. Many people are not tired because life is hard. They are tired because they keep fighting battles that should have been left alone weeks ago. They replay old conversations. They rebuild explanations in their head. They imagine the perfect message that will finally make the other person see. And while they are doing that, their life stands still. Their future waits. Their health waits. Their purpose waits. Their peace waits. This is why emotional strength is attractive. It keeps your energy available for building instead of begging. Imagine how different your life would feel if every morning your power was not already being spent on someone who chose not to value you. Imagine how much more focused you would become if you stopped trying to convince every room to accept your shape. Watch this carefully. The moment you stop arguing for your worth, you begin standing in it. And when you stand in it, your posture changes, your tone changes, even your silence changes. You no longer need to explain every no. You no longer need to defend every choice. You no longer need applause to continue. This is where inner respect starts to replace performance. And once that happens, people will either rise to meet your standard or leave because they no longer have access to your confusion. Let them leave. Not everyone who walks away is a loss. Sometimes they are only making space for the stronger version of you to breathe. Now let us go deeper, because mental strength is not only in your thoughts, it lives in your body too. Train your body not for attention, but for self-respect. Many people begin discipline from self-hate. They look in the mirror and punish what they see. They chase a shape, a number, a compliment, a reaction online. They think, if I can just look different enough, maybe I will finally feel enough. But that path can build a beautiful body and still leave a broken mind inside it. Real discipline begins somewhere cleaner. You train because your body is the first house your spirit has to live in. If that house is neglected, everything becomes heavier. Your focus gets weaker. your will gets softer, your breath gets shallow, your posture collapses, your thoughts become louder. So train, but train with respect. Wake up when you said you would, move when your mood says stay still, walk when your emotions want you to hide, stretch when comfort has made you stiff, sweat when excuses are talking too much. This is not just fitness, this is self-trust in physical form. Confidence does not appear because you repeat nice words in the mirror. Confidence grows because you collect proof. When you tell yourself, tomorrow I begin, and tomorrow comes, and you actually begin, something inside you straightens. When you promise yourself, I will not live like a slave to impulse, and then you keep that promise, your mind starts believing you again. That matters more than appearance. Your mind listens to evidence. If you keep abandoning yourself, your mind learns that your words mean nothing. If you keep showing up, even imperfectly, your mind learns that you can be trusted. This is why so many people feel weak even when they talk about growth all day. They have broken too many small promises to themselves. They said they would start, they did not. They said they would stop, they did not. They said they would rest with intention, but they escaped instead. They said they wanted change, but they kept choosing immediate comfort over future strength. Then they wonder why they do not believe in themselves. It is because belief is not magic. It is memory. It is the memory of what you do when nobody is watching. If your memory is full of avoidance, delay, excuses, and collapse, your self-respect will stay thin no matter how loudly you speak. But if your memory begins to fill with kept promises, hard mornings, disciplined choices, honest effort, and quiet consistency, then your whole energy changes. Your body starts carrying a message before you speak. It says, I know how to endure, I know how to continue, I know how to meet resistance without folding. That message is powerful. It can be seen in the way someone stands, walks, breathes, and looks at life. You do not have to become extreme. You do not have to punish yourself. You do not have to live in obsession. You need rhythm. You need order. You need a few non-negotiable acts of respect, repeated often enough that your body understands this truth. This person is no longer ruled by mood. This person is building command. And that kind of command is deeply attractive because it makes people feel that what you say has roots, not just noise, not just desire, not just image, roots. Another powerful habit is this: become rare with your words. Most people do not become forgettable because they have nothing to say. They become forgettable because they say everything too quickly to too many people. They reveal every plan before it has strength. They expose every emotion before they understand it. They announce every dream. They complain about every problem. They gossip about every person. They fill every silence because silence makes them nervous. And in doing that, they spend their energy everywhere. Your words are not small. Words carry force. When you use them carelessly, your presence loses weight. A strong person does not speak just to fill the air. They speak to create clarity. They use language like a blade, not like smoke. Sharp, clean, intentional. Before you speak, ask yourself a few hard questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it coming from strength or from insecurity looking for relief? Many things are true but do not need to be said. Many things should be said, but not in the tone you want to use in the moment. Many things come out of the mouth only because the ego is hungry to be seen as clever, right, special, innocent, or wounded. Watch your speech for one day. You will be shocked. You explain to protect an image. You joke to hide pain. You exaggerate to feel bigger. You interrupt because you fear being overlooked. You complain because sympathy feels like temporary love. None of that is freedom. It is dependence wearing a social mask. The person with presence speaks less, but when they speak, people lean in. Not because they are mysterious on purpose, because they have learned not to leak themselves everywhere. And let us add something important here. Speaking less does not mean becoming empty, passive, or hard to connect with. It means your silence has weight. It means when you listen, you are truly there. You are not just waiting for your turn to talk. You are not secretly planning how to turn the conversation back to yourself. You are present enough to make other people feel seen, and that is rare. But do not misunderstand this either. Being a good listener does not mean becoming a container for endless chaos. Some people do not want connection. They want a place to dump their confusion every week without changing anything. They keep bringing the same storm, the same drama, the same complaint, not because they seek truth, but because they seek company in weakness. Listen with compassion, yes, but do not become a home for endless negativity. Your mind also deserves peace. Your spirit also deserves clean air. Choose carefully who gets access to the deeper rooms of your life. Not everyone who smiles deserves your secrets. Not everyone who asks deserves the full story. Not everyone who feels familiar is safe. Learn the strength of partial access. Learn the beauty of quiet depth. A person who speaks with intention becomes memorable because their words land. A person who talks constantly becomes background noise, even if the noise is smart. This is one of the hidden secrets of attraction. Depth creates pull. Noise creates fatigue. If you want your presence to feel stronger, stop scattering your thoughts like leaves in the wind. Hold them, refine them. Let some things ripen before they are spoken. Let some thoughts stay private until they gain muscle. Not everything needs an audience. Some things grow better in silence. Now we come to a habit that decides the quality of almost everything else. Master your attention. This is where many lives are quietly being stolen. You say you want to become stronger, but your attention is being eaten all day long. You wake up and touch your phone before you touch your own mind. Before you have taken one full breath for yourself, you are already inside the noise of other people's lives. Comparison, beauty, anger, gossip, desire, outrage, entertainment, fake urgency. Then you wonder why your mind feels polluted before noon. What you feed your attention becomes the shape of your inner world. If you consume distraction, you will struggle to focus. If you consume comparison, you will struggle to rest. If you consume cheap pleasure, you will struggle to feel depth. If you consume endless outrage, you will struggle to think clearly. Attention is life. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows, your habits follow, your character follows, and eventually your future follows. A mentally strong person protects attention like fire in a storm. They know the world is built to steal it. Every app wants it. Every trend wants it. Every argument wants it. Every screen wants to train you to become impatient with real life. This is why stillness feels so difficult for many people now. Silence reveals too much. It reveals the unfinished work, the loneliness, the fear, the guilt, the hunger for meaning, the parts of the self that still need honesty. So people run back to the scroll. More noise, more distraction, more stimulation, more escape. But listen carefully. A person who can sit with themselves without grabbing for constant relief becomes hard to manipulate. That kind of person can focus long enough to become excellent. They can remain still long enough to hear truth. Build the habit of single attention. When you eat, eat. When you walk, walk. When you work, work. When you rest, rest. When you speak, speak. When you love, love. Stop dragging 10 different worlds into one moment and then saying life feels empty. Life does not always feel empty because it lacks meaning. Often it feels empty because you are never fully inside it. You are physically in one place and mentally in 6 others. That kind of fragmentation weakens your presence. It weakens your memory. It weakens your intuition. It even weakens your joy. Try this. Spend a few minutes each day without music, without messages, without a screen, without performance, just you and your own awareness. At first it may feel uncomfortable. Good. That discomfort is information. It shows you how noisy your mind has become. Do not run. Stay. Breathe. Clean it slowly. Attention can be trained the same way a body can be trained. A few repeated acts of focus change the structure of your day. And eventually they change the structure of your character. The attractive person is not scattered. Their energy feels collected. Their eyes are not desperate. Their presence is not broken into pieces. They are here, fully here, and in a distracted world, full presence feels almost supernatural. That is why people remember it. That is why calm attention feels beautiful. That is why one deeply focused person often carries more weight in a room than 10 louder people whose minds are everywhere. If you want stronger energy, stop letting the world rent space in your mind all day for free. Protect your gaze, protect your mornings, protect your concentration, protect what enters your spirit. Not everything deserves your focus, because whatever gets your focus is shaping who you become. Then comes a habit that separates dreamers from builders. Stop needing comfort all the time. Comfort is useful, but it becomes dangerous when it starts making decisions for you. Many people are not destroyed by huge tragedy. They are slowly weakened by constant convenience. They cannot wait. They cannot endure boredom. They cannot handle criticism. They cannot stand rejection. They cannot finish hard tasks. They cannot sit in uncertainty. They cannot be alone without needing a distraction. They cannot hear no without falling apart. And yet they still want a powerful life. That does not work. A powerful life demands a strong nervous system, and a strong nervous system is built by facing difficulty without running every time your mind starts complaining. Take the cold moment and breathe through it. Take the difficult task and finish it. Take rejection and let it refine your direction. Take criticism and examine it before defending yourself. Take solitude and use it to meet yourself, not escape yourself. Take uncertainty and keep walking anyway. This is how weakness leaves the body. Attractive people are not attractive because life is always kind to them. They become attractive because they do not collapse every time life gets heavy. They have learned how to carry weight without making every person around them responsible for their emotions. That does not mean pretending nothing hurts. That is not strength. That is theater. Real strength is feeling pain without handing it the steering wheel. Real strength is saying, "This is hard," and still choosing the next right move. That line alone can change your life. Remember it. The next right move. Not the perfect move, not the dramatic move, the next right move. Some people build their whole identity around what hurt them. They speak about their wound so much that the wound becomes their name. They use pain as proof that growth is impossible. They say, "Because this happened, I cannot become more." But if you build a temple around your suffering, do not be surprised when your whole life starts revolving around it. Pain deserves honesty. Pain deserves care. Pain deserves respect. But it does not deserve total rule. A strong person does not deny pain. They train with it. They learn from it. They allow it to deepen them, but they refuse to let it turn them bitter, lazy, cruel, dramatic, or permanently helpless. That is the difference. Many people want healing without discipline. They want confidence without courage. They want respect without self-control. They want attraction without inner cleanliness. But life does not reward that. If you want stronger presence, do something every day that reminds your weakness it is not the leader anymore. Maybe it is waking up on time. Maybe it is finishing what you started. Maybe it is saying no to the habit that keeps shrinking you. Maybe it is going for the walk you wanted to cancel. Maybe it is telling the truth instead of hiding behind image. These things look small. They are not small. Repeated small discomfort creates large inner strength, and that strength can be felt. It shows up in how you handle delay, how you handle loss, how you handle silence, how you handle not getting what you want immediately. Stay with this point, because the modern world keeps teaching people to escape discomfort instead of transforming through it. Do not follow that pattern. Some doors only open for the person who can stay steady when the path is not pleasant. The final shift is one of the deepest. Become loyal to your purpose, not your mood. Mood changes with weather, sleep, hunger, hormones, music, memory, messages, praise, criticism, and the opinions of confused people. If your life is built on mood, your life will keep drifting. One day you feel inspired, the next day you vanish. One day you want greatness, the next day you want only comfort. One day you are disciplined, the next day you say, I'm just being human, when really you are just being untrained. A trained person does not wait for feeling to lead. They build structure, they build rituals, they create non-negotiables. They decide who they are before the day starts, so the day does not decide for them. Stop asking, do I feel like doing this? That question has weakened countless futures. Feelings are real, but they are not always wise. Feelings are visitors. Purpose must be the house. When you are tired, purpose says do a smaller version, but do not disappear. When you are afraid, purpose says take one step, but do not freeze. When you are praised, purpose says stay humble and continue. When you are criticized, purpose says learn what is useful and leave the poison. When you are lonely, purpose says do not betray yourself for temporary warmth. When you are tempted, purpose says remember the life you claimed you wanted. This loyalty creates a force around a person. Others can sense when someone has direction. They may not understand your path, but they can feel that you are not available for every distraction. You do not need to announce it. Your choices announce it. Your schedule announces it. Your refusals announce it. Your eyes announce it. And refusal matters more than many people understand. You cannot become strong, attractive, and deeply grounded if you are available to everything. Every invitation, every argument, every craving, every late-night impulse, every person who wants your time, every old habit calling you back. You must learn to say no without writing a speech. No to the people who drain your spirit. No to the habits that keep you small. No to the entertainment that empties your mind. No to the conversations that leave your soul dirty. No to the kind of love that demands self-betrayal as proof of loyalty. No to comfort when comfort is stealing your future. Weakness often says yes because it fears rejection. Strength often says no because it fears losing itself. That is a very different standard, and it creates a very different life. The deepest attraction is not about being wanted by everyone. It is about not being easily available to everything, not from arrogance, not from games, not from pretending to be above people, from center, from alignment, from clarity. When your life has a center, other people feel that they cannot pull you in every direction. That makes your presence feel grounded. And grounded people are rare now. Most people are being carried by whatever they felt 5 minutes ago. But the person with center walks differently. They choose differently. They recover faster. They waste less time. They stop selling pieces of themselves just to avoid being alone.